This happened on New Year's Eve 2019. I was 28 years old, living in Portland, Oregon, working as a software developer. I had been invited to a party at a trendy bar downtown. I almost didn't go, because I'd just gone through a breakup with my girlfriend Emma 3 weeks earlier. But my friends convinced me I needed to get out. The party was better than expected. The bar was packed, music was loud, everyone was in a good mood. I had a few drinks, nothing crazy, just enough to feel relaxed. Around 10:30 p.m., I noticed a woman standing alone near the entrance, looking at her phone with a frustrated expression. She was mid-20s, wearing a black dress and heels. "Everything okay?" I asked, walking over. She looked up with relief. "Honestly, no. My ride completely bailed on me. My friend was supposed to pick me up, but she just texted saying she can't make it. I've been trying to get an Uber for 20 minutes, but everything is surging insane because of New Year's." "That sucks," I said. "Where do you need to go?" "Near Gresham," she said. "It's maybe 30 minutes, but Uber is showing $85. That's insane." I hesitated for 2 seconds, thinking about true crime podcasts and warnings about helping strangers, but she seemed genuinely distressed. And it was New Year's Eve. I wanted to be a decent person. "I could give you a ride if you want. I was heading out soon anyway." Her eyes widened with gratitude. "Really? My God, are you sure? That's so nice of you." "It's fine," I said. "I'd rather help you out than have you stuck here." She smiled warmly. "Thank you so much. I'm Ashley." "Derek," I said. We left around 11 p.m. The streets were packed with people celebrating. We made small talk as we walked to my car. Once inside, Ashley was chatty and friendly, asking about my job, telling me she worked in marketing. The conversation felt natural. About 10 minutes in, she started giving directions. "Take a right here." After a few turns, I noticed we were heading away from main roads. The streets got narrower, darker, more industrial. "Are you sure this is right?" I asked. "This doesn't look like a residential area." "It's a shortcut," she said, but her tone had changed. Flatter. She was texting someone rapidly on her phone. "Ashley, where exactly are we going?" My hands gripped the wheel tighter. "Just keep driving. It's just ahead." We turned onto a completely dark street. No street lights, just abandoned warehouses with boarded windows. No cars, no people, just darkness. "This is it. Pull over here," she said. "Where's your house?" "Just pull over." Before I could respond, I heard a loud pop. The car jerked right, flat tire. I pulled over, heart racing. "Stay in the car," I said, getting out to check. The tire was shredded, like I'd run over a spike strip. I pulled out my phone, no signal. I opened the trunk for the spare when I heard heavy footsteps behind me. I turned around. 2 men stood 15 feet away, both wearing ski masks. One held a crowbar, the other a hunting knife with a serrated edge. "Give us your wallet," the one with the crowbar said calmly. My heart pounded. "Okay, just don't hurt me." I handed over my wallet with shaking hands. The guy with the knife took it, pulled out my cash and cards. "Keys," the other demanded. "What?" "No, you already have." He raised the crowbar. "Keys, now." I gave him the keys. He tossed them to the other guy who walked to my car. That's when Ashley got out. She walked over to them like old friends. The guy handed her my wallet. She counted the cash slowly, $43. "Thanks for the ride, Derek," she said with that same warm smile from the bar. "You're a really nice guy." I felt sick. "You set me up." She shrugged, pocketing the cash. "It's just business, nothing personal." "You seemed like an easy target." "Why?" I asked. "Because you wanted to be a hero," she said simply. "Guys like you always do." The guy with the crowbar walked over, leaned in close. I could smell cigarettes on his breath. "Get on your knees, face that wall, count to 100 out loud. If you turn around before 100. I dropped to my knees on the cold pavement, facing an abandoned building. I started counting. 1, 2, 3. I heard footsteps walking away, heard my car door open, heard the engine start. I kept counting. 27, 28. I heard my car drive away. I kept counting through my fear. 56, 57. When I reached 100, I turned around. The street was empty. They were gone. I was alone with no phone service, no money, no way home. I walked for maybe 40 minutes before finding a gas station. The clerk let me use the phone to call police. The officers who arrived told me I was the 3rd victim that month. Same setup, young woman, secluded area, accomplices. They are organized and smart. Have you caught them? He shook his head. Not yet. Different names, different locations every time. They drove me home. I spent the first hours of 2020 canceling CADs and feeling like an idiot. 2 days later, police found my car abandoned, plates removed, interior wiped clean. But they found something in my glove compartment I hadn't put there. A Polaroid photograph. The photo showed me outside the bar, standing by my car, looking at my phone, completely unaware. On the back, red marker, "We chose you first." The detective explained they hadn't gotten lucky when Ashley approached me. They'd been watching me before that. They'd picked me out specifically, followed me inside, waited for the right moment. It was all planned from the start. The case is still open. They never found them. Now every time a stranger approaches me, I wonder if it's happening again. I wonder if someone is watching, photographing, planning. They took my ability to trust people, my desire to help. But mostly I think about those words, "We chose you first," because they are still out there, choosing others. And next time, they might take more than a wallet and car. This happened on New Year's Eve, 2016. I was 26, driving from Boston to upstate New York to spend the holiday with family. My mom had remarried a man named Robert. They lived in a house surrounded by woods. My younger brother Tyler, 19, lived with them while attending community college. They had a German shepherd named Rex from a police canine program who'd washed out because he was too protective. When I arrived around 4 p.m., I helped Robert bring firewood from the shed. I noticed cigarette butts on the ground near the tree line, half buried in old snow. "That's weird," Robert said. "None of us smoke." "Maybe hikers," I suggested. He threw them away without another word. I wish we'd paid more attention. We planned a quiet evening. Pizza, board games, watching the ball drop. Around 8 p.m., heavy snow started falling. Within an hour, several inches covered the ground. That's when Rex started acting strange. He'd been lying by the sliding glass door, but suddenly stood up, staring at the backyard, letting out a low growl from deep in his chest. "Rex, what is it?" Mom called. He didn't respond, just kept staring, growling deeper. Robert opened the door and Rex bolted outside, barking aggressively toward the tree line. But he wasn't chasing something. He was trying to intercept something approaching. He stopped 15 feet from the trees and stood rigid, barking in sharp warning bursts. Robert had to physically drag him back inside. The dog was trembling, not from cold, from fear. I'd never seen a German shepherd look scared before. When Robert got him inside, Rex immediately went back to the glass, barking, nose pressed against it, breath fogging the window. "Something's really got him worked up," Robert said, peering into darkness. Around 9 p.m., the power flickered. Robert noticed the neighbor's motion light kept turning on and off. Too consistent, too rhythmic. Rex was pacing now, whining and growling. Mom tried to calm him, but he ignored her, completely focused on something outside we couldn't see. Then at 9:40 p.m., 3 slow, deliberate knocks on the front door. We all froze. It was late, middle of a snowstorm, and we weren't expecting anyone. Robert looked through the peephole. "I don't see anyone." He opened the door. The porch was empty, just snow blowing in. He stepped outside briefly, looked around, came back and shaking his head. "Must be kids." But Rex went ballistic. He started barking so loudly, Mom had to physically hold him back. He was trying to get to the door, teeth bared, spit flying from his mouth. Robert locked the door and checked all windows. "Probably just the storm making us jumpy," he said, but his voice wavered. Tyler looked at me, face pale. "This is really freaking me out." Around 10:15 p.m., we heard footsteps on the porch, not loud, but deliberate, slow, heavy steps walking from one end to the other. Rex started barking again. Robert grabbed a flashlight and went to the door. He looked through the peephole, then quickly opened it and shone the light outside. "Hey, who's out there?" he yelled. No response, just wind and snow. But when Robert stepped onto the porch, he went rigid. He bent down, examining something, then quickly came back inside and locked the door. "What is it?" Mom asked, voice tight. "Footprints," Robert said. "Fresh footprints in the snow, multiple sets. They go from the driveway to the front door, then back down the steps and around the side toward the backyard. At least 3 different people." Mom's hand went to her mouth. "Oh my God." Robert pulled out his phone and called 911. While he talked to dispatch, I went to the living room window. The neighbor's motion light turned on and I saw them. Two figures standing at the edge of our yard by the woods, just standing there facing the house, wearing ski masks, watching us. "Robert," I said, keeping my voice steady, "there's someone out there." He came over, still holding the phone. The light turned off, then on again. We could both see them clearly now. "Yeah, I see them," Robert said into the phone, voice shaking. "There are two people in my yard right now. Please send someone quickly." The dispatcher said officers were coming, but would take at least 15 minutes because of the storm. Robert told us to stay away from windows. Rex was going insane, barking and snarling. Mom grabbed Tyler and me, pulling us toward the center of the house. Robert stood by the front door holding a baseball bat he'd grabbed from the closet. Then the power went out. Completely. Total darkness. The generator didn't start. We sat there hearing only Rex's frantic barking and our heavy breathing in the cold air. Then came the sound of breaking glass from the kitchen. Rex took off running toward the sound, barking ferociously, his nails scraping the hardwood. Robert and I followed with the flashlight. The window above the sink was smashed. Cold air and snow poured in. We heard footsteps outside, crunching in snow, moving away from the window. Rex was at the back door, throwing himself against it, desperate to get outside. Robert shone the flashlight out the broken window. I saw one figure running toward the woods. But they weren't running like someone caught. They were running like someone who'd accomplished their goal. Then we heard sirens, finally. Two officers arrived and searched the property with flashlights. They found footprints everywhere, circling the entire house, leading to every window and door. They found the broken window. They found something else. A pile of cigarette butts near the back corner of the house, hidden behind bushes. At least 40 butts, all relatively fresh. Someone had been standing there for hours, maybe days, smoking and watching our house. After they left, after they'd boarded up the window and promised increased patrols, I asked Robert directly what was going on. He was quiet for a long time. Then, the family who lived here before us left because someone was watching their house. The daughter saw people in the woods at night. They thought she was on drugs or making it up, until the mom started seeing them too. They moved out in the middle of the night 3 months later, left most of their furniture. And you didn't think to mention this before. I asked, anger rising. I didn't think it was real, Robert said quietly. I thought they were just paranoid. We didn't sleep that night. We all stayed in the living room with every light we could find turned on. Rex lay by the door, tense and alert, occasionally growling at sounds we couldn't hear. When morning finally came, I went outside to help Robert clean up the broken glass. That's when I found it, stuck to the outside of the kitchen window with duct tape, a Polaroid photograph. The photo showed our living room from outside, taken through the window. All of us sitting there earlier in the evening, playing cards, laughing, completely unaware we were being watched and photographed. On the back, written in black marker and neat handwriting, "We'll be back next year." My hands shook as I showed it to Robert. His face went white. We immediately gave it to the police, but they never found who took it. The case remains open. My mom and Robert sold the house 3 months later and moved to a different town. Tyler transferred to a college in another state. We never talk about that night, but I know we all think about it. Every New Year's Eve, we wonder if they kept their promise. If they went back to that house. If they found the new family that moved in. If they are watching someone else now, smoking cigarettes in the woods. Taking photographs, waiting. And here's what haunts me most. In that Polaroid, if you look very closely at the background, you can see Rex lying by the sliding glass door. His head is up, his ears are perked forward, and is staring directly at the camera. Directly at whoever was standing outside in the dark, taking our picture. He knew someone was there. He knew we were being watched. He tried to warn us from the very beginning, barking and growling and refusing to leave that door. We just didn't listen in time. I was 29, living alone in a rental house in Austin, Texas. This happened on New Year's Eve 2018. I'd moved there 6 months earlier for a new job and didn't know many people yet. My plan for New Year's Eve was simple. Order takeout, watch movies, go to bed early. I'd never been big on New Year's celebrations anyway. The house was a small bungalow at the end of a cul-de-sac. Cute, affordable. Seemed safe. My landlord, Mr. Patterson, lived a few streets over. When I first toured the house, he had this strange habit of mentioning specific details about the previous tenant. Where she kept her plants, where she liked to sit for her morning coffee, which window she preferred to keep open for fresh air. At the time, I thought he was just being thorough, helping me visualize living there. Now I realize he was telling me what he'd observed, what he'd been watching. The day was quiet. I worked from home, so I spent most of it on my laptop finishing up a project. Around 6 p.m., I ordered Chinese food and settled on the couch with Netflix. It was cold for Austin, probably low 40s, and I had the heater running. Everything felt normal and comfortable. Around 8 p.m., my phone buzzed with a text from an unknown number. "Happy New Year, Sarah." I stared at the screen, confused. I didn't recognize the number. I'd only given my number to a handful of people since moving to Austin. I figured maybe it was someone from work I hadn't saved yet. I texted back, "Thanks. Who is this?" No response. I shrugged it off and went back to my movie. About 30 minutes later, my phone buzzed again. Another message from the same number. "You look comfortable tonight." Stomach dropped. I looked down at what I was wearing, gray sweatpants and an old college t-shirt. Nothing special. Nothing I'd posted on social media. I got up and walked to the front window, carefully peeking through the curtains. The street was empty. No cars parked along the curb, no people outside. The neighbors all had their lights on, but I didn't see anyone. I closed the curtains tightly and went around checking every lock in the house. Front door locked. Back door locked. Every window locked. My heart was racing now. I texted back, "This isn't funny. Who is this?" 3 dots appeared like they were typing a response, then disappeared. No message came through. I tried calling the number, but it went straight to one of those generic automated voicemails. The voice didn't even say the number, just, "The person you are trying to reach is not available." Around 9 p.m. another text arrived. "Why did you close the curtains? I liked watching you." My hands started shaking. Someone was watching me. Right now. They could see the house, see when I closed the curtains. They were close enough to observe my movements in real time. I grabbed my phone and called 911. The dispatcher answered, and I tried to keep my voice steady as I explained that someone was sending me threatening text messages and seemed to be watching my house from outside. She asked if I could see anyone, and I said no. She said they would send an officer to check the area and that I should stay inside with all doors and windows locked. While I waited for the police, I turned off all the lights in the house except for a small lamp in the hallway. I sat in the bathroom, the only room with no windows, and waited, trying to control my breathing. My phone buzzed again. Another text from the same number. "You called the police. That wasn't very smart, Sarah. That makes this harder for both of us." I started crying. Whoever this was, they were watching me right now. They knew I'd called the police. How? How could they see me? I texted back with shaking fingers. "What do you want from me?" The response came immediately. "I just want to talk to you. I want to be close to you. I've been watching you for so long and I feel like I know you. I know your routines, your habits, what makes you happy. Don't you want to know me too?" I felt sick. This wasn't some random person playing a prank. This was someone who had been watching me, studying me for weeks or maybe even months. Police officer arrived about 15 minutes later, a single patrol car. The officer knocked on my door and I let him in. I showed him all the text messages and he took them seriously. He asked if I had any ex-boyfriends or anyone who might have a grudge against me. I told him no. I just moved to Austin 6 months ago. I barely knew anyone here. I kept to myself. He searched the perimeter of the house with his flashlight, checking the backyard, the sides of the house, behind the bushes, everywhere. He didn't find anyone. He came back inside and told me he would file a report and that the department would try to trace the number. He also suggested I might want to stay somewhere else for the night, maybe with a friend or at a hotel, just to be safe. I didn't have any friends in Austin yet, and honestly, I didn't want to leave my house. What if this person followed me? At least here I could lock the doors and windows and call for help if needed. The officer gave me his card and told me to call immediately if I received any more messages or saw anything suspicious. Then he left. After he was gone, I kept all the lights off except that one lamp. I sat in the living room with my phone in my hand, jumping at every small sound, the heater kicking on, the house settling, branches scraping against the roof in the wind. Around 10:30 p.m. my phone buzzed again. "The police can't protect you, Sarah. They left, didn't they? Now it's just you and me again, just like it's always been." I called 911 again, my voice barely a whisper. The dispatcher said she would send an officer back, but it would take a few minutes. She told me to stay on the line with her. "Don't hang up," she said. I'm right here with you. While I was on the phone with the dispatcher, still sitting in my DAC living room, I heard something that made every hair on my body stand up. A soft knock on my back door. 3 slow, deliberate taps. There's someone at my back door, I whispered into the phone, my voice shaking so badly I could barely form the words. Do not answer it, the dispatcher said firmly. Do not go near the door. Stay where you are. An officer is 3 minutes away. The knock came again, louder this time, more insistent. I crawled on my hands and knees to the kitchen and peeked around the corner. Through the window in the back door, I could see a silhouette standing there, backlit by my neighbor's porch light. The figure was just standing there, motionless, facing the door. Facing me. My phone buzzed with another text. Open the door, Sarah. Please, let me in. I've waited so long to talk to you face to face. I just want to see you. I need to see you. The figure at the back door started pounding on it now, harder and harder, the door shaking in its frame. Then I heard a voice, a man's voice, but it was muffled and distorted, like he was speaking through a mask or cloth over his mouth. Sarah, the voice said, Sarah, please, I just want to talk to you. I need to see you. I've been so patient. Please just open the door. He kept saying my name over and over, each time getting more desperate, more insistent, more frantic. Sarah, Sarah, Sarah. Then I heard the sirens. The pounding stopped immediately. I saw the silhouette turn and run, disappearing into the darkness of the backyard. 2 officers arrived this time. They searched the backyard thoroughly with flashlights and found footprints in the dirt, leading from the back fence to my door and back again. Fresh footprints from someone who'd been standing there. One of the officers, a woman named Officer Martinez, stayed with me while the other one continued searching the property. She asked me to show her the text messages again, and as she was reading them carefully, my phone buzzed with another message. This one was longer, more detailed. Sarah, I'm sorry I scared you. I didn't mean to frighten you. I just wanted to meet you, to talk to you. You're so beautiful and you seem so lonely. I've been watching you for months since the day you moved in. I know you eat Chinese food on Fridays. I know you work from home. I know you sit by the front window with your coffee every morning at 7:30. I know what time you go to bed. I know everything about you. And I think if you just gave me a chance, you'd want to know me too. I'll come back when you're ready. I'll always be watching. I'll always be close, I promise. Officer Martinez's face went pale as she read it. She looked at me, then looked at the phone number again. She pulled out her own phone and made a call. I heard her talking to someone, asking them to run a trace on the number. A few minutes later she got a call back. When she hung up, her expression had changed completely. She looked uncomfortable, almost sick. Sarah, she said quietly, do you know your landlord well, Mr. Patterson? My heart stopped. Not really. Why? What does he have to do with this? The number these texts are coming from is registered to a Gerald Patterson at an address just a few streets from here. Is that your landlord? I felt like the floor had dropped out from under me. Mr. Patterson, the man who had shown me around this house, the man who knew where I worked, who had my phone number because I'd given it to him when I signed the lease. The man who knew the previous tenant's routine in such strange, specific detail. We need to go talk to him right now, Officer Martinez said. We drove to Mr. Patterson's house in the police car. The officers knocked on his door repeatedly, identifying themselves as police. No answer. They knocked again, louder. Still nothing. They tried the door. It was unlocked. They went inside while I waited in the car, my heart pounding. About 10 minutes later, Officer Martinez came back out. Her face was grim, angry. He's not here, she said, but there's something inside you need to see. She took me into the house, into a back bedroom that Mr. Patterson had apparently converted into some kind of office. One entire wall was covered with photographs, hundreds of photographs, all of me. Photos taken through my windows at different times of day and night. Photos of me leaving for the grocery store. Photos of me getting my mail. Photos of me sitting on my couch watching TV. Photos of me in my kitchen making dinner. Some photos were taken during the day, but most were taken at night when I thought I had privacy, when I thought no one could see me. There was a desk with a computer, and on the desk was a spiral notebook. Officer Martinez picked it up and opened it. Inside were pages and pages of handwritten notes about me. What time I woke up each morning. What time I went to bed. What I ate for meals. What I wore. Who I talked to on the phone. Everything. He had been documenting my entire life in meticulous detail for months. On the last page of the notebook, There was an entry dated December 31st, 2018. New Year's Eve that very night. It said, "Tonight is the night. I've waited long enough. I've been patient. I've learned everything about her. I'll tell her how I feel. If she doesn't understand, if she rejects me, I'll make her understand. She needs to know that we belong together. The room is ready for her." The police immediately put out an alert for Mr. Patterson, but they never found him. His car was gone from his driveway. His clothes were gone from his closet. He had disappeared completely. They traced his phone, the one he'd been texting me from, but it was turned off. They checked his credit cards, his bank accounts. No activity. It was like he'd vanished into thin air. I moved out of that house the very next day. I didn't even pack most of my belongings. Didn't care about losing my security deposit. I just grabbed what I absolutely needed and left. I stayed with a coworker for a week while I frantically searched for a new place to live. I eventually found an apartment in a large complex on the other side of the city, a place with security cameras everywhere, a doorman and neighbors on all sides. The police kept the case open, but months went by with no sign of Mr. Patterson. Officer Martinez would call me occasionally with updates, but there was never anything new to report. He could be anywhere. He might have left Texas entirely, maybe left the country. They told me to be careful, to vary my routine, to always be aware of my surroundings. 6 months later, I finally worked up the courage to ask Officer Martinez if there had been any developments in the case. She hesitated before answering, and I could tell there was something she hadn't told me before. "Sarah," she said slowly, "when we searched Mr. Patterson's house more thoroughly after he disappeared, we found something in his basement. A room." "What kind of room?" I asked, though I wasn't sure I wanted to know. It was small, maybe 8 by 8 feet. There was a mattress on the floor, a chair, and a small table. The walls were covered, completely covered, with more photographs of you. Hundreds of them. And on the table was a calendar. He had December 31st, 2018 circled in red ink. Below the date, he had written, "Sarah moves in." I felt sick. What does that mean? "We believe he had been planning this from the very beginning," Officer Martinez explained. "The house, the lease, everything. He set it all up specifically so he could watch you. We think he deliberately chose you as a tenant, maybe saw you at your job or around town, became obsessed, and then orchestrated the entire situation so he could be close to you and monitor you constantly." "Oh," whispered. "There's more," she continued. "We did some digging into his background. The previous tenant, the woman whose routine he told you about in such specific detail. She broke her lease suddenly 6 months before you moved in. Broke it in the middle of the night and moved out of state. We tried to contact her, but she had changed her name, moved to a different state, and gone completely off the grid. We think Mr. Patterson did the same thing to her. She was probably his previous victim." I couldn't speak. I just sat there, phone pressed to my ear, trying to process what she was telling me. "And Sarah," Officer Martinez said, her voice gentle, "you need to understand something. People like Gerald Patterson don't just stop. They don't get help. They don't reform. They just find new targets. He's out there somewhere right now, and has probably already found someone new to watch. We've alerted police departments across the country, sent out his photo and information, but he's been very careful. He hasn't used his credit cards, hasn't accessed his bank accounts, hasn't done anything that would leave a digital trail. It's been over a year now since that night. I still live in that apartment with the doorman and the security cameras. I still sleep with all the lights on. I still check every window and door at least 3 times before I go to bed. I still get panic attacks whenever my phone buzzes with a message from an unknown number. But most of all, I think about that room in his basement. That room he had prepared specifically for me, with my photographs covering every wall. I think about that calendar with December 31st circled in red. I think about what would have happened if the police had taken just a few more minutes to arrive that night. What he would have done to me. Where I would be now. Because I know he's out there somewhere. I know he's not done. Officer Martinez was right. People like him don't stop. They just find new victims. And somewhere, right now, there's probably another woman who has no idea she's being watched. No idea someone is documenting her routine, learning her habits, taking photographs through her windows at night. No idea someone is preparing a room for her. And there's nothing I can do to warn her. Because I don't know who she is. I don't know where she lives. I just hope she's more careful than I was. I hope she notices the signs I missed. I hope she listens to her instincts when something feels wrong. Every New Year's Eve now, I think about that night, about those text messages, about that voice at my door saying my name over and over, about that room in the basement. And I wonder, is he watching someone new right now? Is he sending the messages? Is tonight the night he circled on his calendar? I'll never know, but I'll never forget. And I'll never feel completely safe again.